The wind that night was cold, the kind that carries stories of loss across the empty plains. The ranch lights flickered in the distance as Luke Carson, a quiet rancher with weathered hands and tired eyes, sat on his porch staring at the dark horizon. Inside the small wooden house, a little girl coughed softly. Her name was Emma, just 6 years old. Golden hair tangled by the wind, eyes blue like the open sky. She was Luke's only reason to keep breathing after his wife. Sarah had passed away 2 winters ago. That loss had changed him, turned the strong cowboy into a man who spoke less and prayed more. But tonight, something was different. The wind carried a sound, faint, desperate, human. Luke stood, listening. A cry for help, or just the coyotes? He grabbed his lantern, saddled his horse, and rode into the dark. Down by the creek he saw them, 3 women, barely conscious, clothes torn, faces covered in dust and fear. Apache women, native, proud but broken by what they had escaped. Luke dismounted slowly, cautious but kind. "What happened to you folks?" he asked, voice low and steady. The eldest, with deep black eyes, looked up. "Soldiers took our people. We ran." For a long second, silence hung between them, the kind that decides what kind of man you are. Luke could have turned away. The world outside was cruel, and helping them could bring trouble. But he remembered Emma, how she had asked him once, "Papa, why doesn't God send Mama back?" He had no answer then, but maybe tonight God had sent someone else. "Come on," Luke said softly. "You'll freeze out here." He took them to his ranch, lit the fire, gave them bread and water. Emma woke up sleepy-eyed, clutching her doll. When she saw the women, she didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled shyly. "Papa, are they angels?" she whispered. Luke almost smiled. "Maybe, sweetheart. Maybe they are." The women were sisters, Naya, the eldest, strong and protective. Tala, quiet but brave. And Suni, the youngest, barely 18, still carrying fear in her trembling hands. Luke didn't ask much that night. He just let them rest. In the morning, the sun painted gold across the ranch. Luke brewed coffee, fed the horses, and found the women already awake, helping Emma braid her hair, cleaning the porch, whispering prayers in their language. Something shifted in that house. For the first time in years, there was laughter again. Emma's giggles echoed through the wooden walls, and Luke felt something in his chest, something he hadn't felt since Sarah died. But the peace didn't last. By evening, 3 men from town rode up, Union soldiers, boots heavy with authority. They asked about runaway Indians. Luke kept his expression calm. "Haven't seen anyone," he said. The men didn't believe him. One of them stepped off his horse, eyes narrowing. "If you're hiding them, rancher, that's aiding fugitives. You know the penalty." Luke's jaw tightened. He had fought for this land, worked for every inch of it. But he repeated slowly, "I haven't seen anyone." The soldiers left, but the warning hung heavy in the air. That night, Luke stood by the window watching the stars. Naya came beside him. "You risked your life for us," she said. He looked down. "My daughter needs a mother," he murmured almost to himself. "And maybe she needs to see that kindness still exists in this world." For a moment their eyes met, a rancher and a warrior's daughter, both scarred by loss, both searching for peace. Days turned into weeks. The women helped on the ranch, tending the animals, teaching Emma songs in their language. Slowly, they became part of his small, quiet world. Luke found himself smiling again, small, hesitant smiles that came like sunlight after rain. Naya would catch him looking sometimes, but she said nothing. She understood silence too well. But the danger wasn't gone. Word spread in town that Luke Carson was harboring savages. Old friends stopped visiting. The storekeeper looked away, yet Luke stood firm. He had lost one family before. He wouldn't lose another. Then one afternoon, as Emma played near the barn, she tripped and fell. The cry pierced through the ranch. Luke ran, but before he reached her, Naya was already there, lifting the child gently, soothing her with words only a mother could speak. Emma held her close, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Don't go away, Naya," she whispered. "You're like Mama." Luke heard that, and something inside him broke, then healed. Maybe God didn't bring Sarah back, but maybe he sent someone else to fill the silence. As the sun dipped behind the hills, Luke stood outside, looking at the horizon that once looked empty. Now it looked like hope. "My daughter needs a mother," he whispered to himself again. "And maybe I need a reason to live." The three Apache women stood behind him, silent, strong, and grateful. None of them knew what tomorrow would bring: danger, judgment, maybe even death. But for that one golden evening, they were family. And in the stillness of the prairie wind, you could almost hear Sarah's voice, carried from heaven, whispering, "You did right, Luke.